All right, now let's talk about leading our players. This is the one we're probably most interested in. Now, I think all the other ones are really important. You're not going to be able to lead your peers or players well if you don't take care of yourself. I think you're going to enjoy your job more when you're intentional to really impact your peers with your leadership. But the players are the ones that you have the most leadership over. And I love this quote from Donald Miller. He said, "Great leaders aren't afraid to love their teams." Let me say that again. Great leaders aren't afraid to love their teams. So you can go in there and be infectious with your leadership by just constantly loving on your team. I'm going to give you an acronym like I did in the previous ones to make sure that you have something that sticks with you. And it's ROI. We all know what ROI is. It's return on investment. You're going to give a lot of yourself, whether it's over the course of a season or over the course of your career, to other people. And you want to make sure that there is some ROI on this. And what does that look like? It looks different. For me, ROI looks like this: 5, 10, 15 years down the road, when my players are fathers, when my players are great husbands. Those are the kind of things that, we might not directly get an ROI from it, but we really do. We've sowed some seeds and we've planted some things that have been able to be watered and nurtured, and we've made a real difference and a real impact on the people, specifically the players that we're leading. So on ROI, there's 3 different things that you need to do to make sure that you are gaining the biggest return on your investment. Let me go over the first one, the R, the right eyes. Oftentimes, we don't invest in people properly because we're not looking at them with the right eyes. And here's the saying that somebody told me a long time ago that really changed the lens in which I look through to be a coach. Are we looking at people with they're doing the best with what they know? If we have the right eyes, the R, we're going to look at people and say, you know what, they're doing the best with what they know. They might not be who they want to be or where they want to be. And honestly, that's mostly the case in young people. If I look back when I was 16 or 18 or whatever age it was, I was not who I wanted to be. I needed help growing into the person or the leader or the player that I wanted to be. And so if somebody looked at me with the right eyes, then I had a chance. If they looked at me with the wrong eyes, they could have written me off because I had a lot of issues, a lot of problems. So are you looking at your players and saying, gosh, they don't have the right attitude, they don't have the right energy, they don't have the right... What if they're just doing the best with what they know? What if they've never seen hard work modeled for them? What if they've never seen gratitude modeled for them? What if they've never had those examples? What if they've never had that accountability? Well, it's easy to just write them off. But the right eyes doesn't write them off. It looks at them and says, they're doing the best with what they know right now. I'm meeting them in this place. It is now my job to help them become the person or player that they could become. And so that's the R, the right eyes. The O, the second one, ownership, specifically shared ownership. Listen, this coaching thing is hard. Sometimes we just feel like we're out there by ourselves. We feel like, we don't know where to get help. We feel like we're the only one going through this. But in reality, it's easier when we share that ownership with everybody, whether that's with your assistant coaches, whether that's with the players. Oftentimes in my coaching career, I find a lot of value in shared ownership with other people like PGC Coaching, where I'm meeting and talking with coaches on the regular, and we're finding ways to support each other. Well, the same is true with your team. If you're responsible for the energy every single day, if you're responsible for the attitude, if you're the only one bringing gratitude, if you're the only one working hard, it feels like you're just fighting an uphill battle. But if you can transfer some of that to other people, then the road gets a lot easier. What if you and your staff weren't responsible for the energy every day? What if you named the energy captain and they had to pull weight with you? They felt that burden when the team didn't have great energy. If you're responsible for it and your assistant coaches are responsible for it, now you have a player that's the leader of it and they pass that responsibility on to players. This is why it's important to have energy every day. Everybody's pulling in the right energy direction. Oftentimes I go into practices and I see coaches the only one bringing the energy, the only one responsible for the feel of practice. And it shouldn't be that way because it will drain you when you are the sole person responsible for that energy. And that's just one example. Ownership in every category is really important, but you want to make sure the ownership is right and you want to make sure that it's shared ownership. That is the O. They're going to grow because of it and you're going to grow because of it. And finally, the last one is inspire. You want to inspire them on a daily basis, and you can do this by just doing simple little things, by counting your blessings that you are the person that gets to inspire them every single day. If we go into our leadership endeavors, whether that's with ourselves, whether that's with our peers, or whether that's specifically with our players like we're talking about right now, if I desire to inspire every single day, I'm going to call young people up to things they never could have done without that inspiration. They look to you. Most people say that coaches are some of the most influential people in their lives. So each and every day you can crush that. Each and every day you can be kind of even about that, or each and every day you can choose to inspire them. And it can be big. It can be with a hug. It can be with a big fist pump. It can be with a huge clap. It can be with small things, like just teaching them how to be thankful for little things that happen every single day. But I really do think that if you concentrated on those three things, ROI, you would get an ROI in your investment in leadership in your players. So don't forget, first, look through the right set of glasses. Have the right eyes. Second, share that ownership. Make sure that everybody's invested. You're going to enjoy your career when that ownership is shared. And three, each and every day, inspire. And don't be afraid to be inspired by other people. Oftentimes it's my players and fellow coaches that inspire me. So the acronym ROI, if you're concentrating on those three things every single day when you're leading players, I feel confident that you're going to get an ROI on your leadership investment.